The Milwaukee Bucks are off to a shaky start this season, sitting at 12th place after 12 games. What's going wrong for them? Can they turn things around and be competitive again? Let's dive in and find out. To begin with, the Bucks are arguably one of the most disappointing teams at the start of this regular season, and their problem seems more concerning than those of the 76ers. The 76ers have reason to believe that once two of their three stars return to the court, they will get better. But that's another topic. For the Bucks, Chris Middleton still doesn't have a clear timeline for his return. But with both Damian Lillard and Giannis relatively healthy, winning only 4 games seems unacceptable. Against the top 2 teams in the East, they are 0-4. Yes, it was a tough schedule for the Bucks, facing Boston and Cleveland 4 times, but still, the rest of their opponents aren't unbeatable. Are the Bucks really doomed? Not necessarily, it depends. They definitely need some changes. Let's take a look at the Bucks statistics first. They are ranked 21st in offensive rating. With Damian and Giannis, that's almost unacceptable. They are ranked 16th in defensive rating, getting better after 2 consecutive wins. Diving deeper into those numbers, despite Brook Lopez being criticized for getting older and his rim protection declining, the Bucks are still the best team in paint defense. Their fast break defense is decent, ranking 11th in the league, and their second chance defense is ranked 5th. So overall, they are still a pretty good team in most areas. So, what's the problem? Is their 3-point defense. Their opponents' 3-point attempts are the 3rd highest in the league, and the opponents are shooting the 5th best percentage from 3 against them. The number of 3-pointers made by opponents ranked the 2nd most. It seems like there's no perimeter defense at all. Offensively, the Bucks has the highest post-up frequency in the league, even more than the Denver Nuggets, who have the best post-up player, Nikola Jokic. Despite this high frequency, they only generate 0.85 points per possession on post-ups, which isn't very efficient compared to other offensive strategies. Another issue we can identify from the statistics is their use of cuts. The Bucks run cut plays 5.4 times per game, compared to the rest of the league. This is relatively low. To put this into perspective, the Denver Nuggets run cuts 10.7% of the time, which is among the best in the league. Okay, enough with the statistics. Let's take a look at the games. There's one particular game I want to analyze using the statistics we'll discuss. The game against the Cavaliers on November 4th. The Bucks lost that game due to Donovan Mitchell's buzzer beater, which isn't a bad result considering the Cavs are on a 13-0 start. No one can stop them so far. In that game, Damian Lillard hit 10 3-pointers and scored 41 points, while Giannis added 34 points. Let's see what they did well, what problems they had, and furthermore, what's the difference when they can almost be the best team in the league but struggle to get wins against other teams. Another reason I'm focusing on the Cavs as an opponent is that their roster type is similar to the Bucks. They have a center, Jarrett Allen, who can protect the paint, along with another elite roamer, Evan Mobley. Their perimeter defenders aren't the best in the league, featuring players like Garland, Mitchell, and Dean Wade. Yet, they can start with a 13-0 record, while the Bucks are near the bottom. So, what's the difference between these two teams, and what can the Bucks learn from the Cavs' success? In this game, offensively, they almost did everything right. Brook Lopez didn't post up. Giannis took every transition opportunities he could, almost scoring or drawing fouls on every single possession, and Damian found his shooting touch beyond the arc. But still, there were countless possessions where the weak side players just stood and watched either Damian or Giannis play isolation basketball. It was very simple for the opponents to defend those situations. They need more off-ball movement. Even with my limited knowledge, let's take this possession as an example. Giannis needs to utilize his size. He can set perfect screen for off-ball players. He can run towards the corner, while Taurean Prince runs up with a cross, with Giannis setting a screen for him. At the same time, Gary Trent Jr. can cut to the basket. They need movement to create chaos for the defense. It may or may not create an open shot opportunity, but standing still certainly won't create any open shot. This forced Damian Lillard to play one-on-one and take tough shots. Most of the Bucks offense seems to focus on forcing a mismatch for Damian or Giannis to play isolation. It doesn't always work and may create opportunities for opponents to double-team the ball handler. Another problem is Bobby Portis. I know local Buckets fans love him, but I have to say he needs to do less on offense. He had another 2 post-up possessions initiated at the baseline, which is alright, but still, for him and Brook Lopez, they need to minimize those kind of post-up plays. It's a very low efficiency offensive nowadays, letting Damian or Giannis handle the ball when they are on the court. Let them make a decision. However, if they can get post-up positions deep near the basket, they can still do it, just not from a high position. Defensively, I'm not even sure where to start. The Bucks need to be more disciplined. What are their defensive rules? With Brook Lopez and Giannis, they should be playing drop coverage. The perimeter defenders shouldn't expect Brook to step up and help them all the way to the three-point line during pick-and-roll situation. So, what can they do? They should do the same as they did during the championship season. The perimeter defenders need to go over the screen, not giving the ball handler an easy three-point chance, but instead forcing them to attack the rim, while Brook Lopez stay back to protect the paint. What if Lopez isn't on the court? Normally, Bobby Portis plays center, but he is not a strong rim protector, so they can switch on every possession. Currently, the Bucks defense is chaotic. The perimeter defenders often lose focus. A simple off-ball movement can create an open three-point chance. That's unacceptable. The perimeter defenders need to realize whether Lopez is on the court or not, because they may need to deploy different defensive tactics. Additionally, there are unnecessary defensive collapses, especially from the weak side. Take this possession as an example. What was the purpose of Pat Connaughton leaving his man to collapse from the weak side? The ball handler wasn't even go through his side. There were 2 open shot opportunities for the Cavs. Connaughton just gave them an easy one. With all the above, we can see that the coaching team also has problems. There is a lack of discipline on both sides of the floor. In fact, if the Bucks continue to struggle for another 10 games, especially with a schedule that's not too hard, Doc Rivers may lose his job again. It would then be very likely that Darvin Ham will take over as the head coach. Ham has his own advantages. His adjustments between games are effective, but his in-game coaching is great. The Bucks may need to enhance the whole coaching staff as well. I have one idea. Championship head coach who is good at building a defensive system around a full-size center, Frank Vogel, who is consulting at Dallas this season. Bringing in someone like Vogel might help solidify their defense. The Bucks need some roster adjustments as well. Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, and Pat Connaughton's contracts are suitable for trades, but it depends on what the Bucks management team want. Are they going to change the coaching staff? If so, what tactics will be addressed? Then they can decide what kind of role players they need for the new strategy. Lastly, let's briefly talk about the possibility of Giannis asking for a trade. Let's assume Giannis wants to leave, but for what reason? Clearly, it's not about money. Is he aiming to chase another championship? If that's the goal, which team can guarantee Giannis a title after trading for him and giving up heaps of resources? Any team looking to acquire Giannis would likely need to offer at least 5 or 6 first-round picks, along with at least 2 young talented players. However, if it does happen in the near future, there's one team that hasn't been mentioned much but could be the best fit for Giannis, the Bucks, and the acquiring team, the Houston Rockets. Here's why. Houston has a lot of resources, so many talented players that they cannot even give them all enough playing time. With plenty of first-round picks, they can fulfill the Bucks' requirements. But how would this benefit Giannis? The key to the Bucks' championship win in 2021 was defense. Giannis is unstoppable in transition, and the Rockets have Fred VanVleet and Dillon Brooks, with Coach Udoka already building a reliable defensive system for the team. Sengun would probably be part of the trade package, but Houston needs to keep Jalen Green. I believe Houston's remaining roster and the team's tactics could maximize Giannis' abilities. But all of this is a big if. To wipe things up, while the Bucks have faced some earlier season challenges, there's still plenty of time for them to turn things around. With the right adjustments in strategy and perhaps some changes in coaching or roster, they can regain their competitive edge in the league. But time is ticking. They need to make decisions fast. What do you think the Bucks need to do to get back on top? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you haven't watched my video about the Denver Nuggets' earlier season problems and how they overcome them, click on the video on the screen now. Before next time, enjoy the game!